Hello Year 10. So we're starting off by writing down all of the keywords we can remember to do with the Battle of the Somme. There's also a challenge task that I'd like most of us to have a go at today as well, which is to explain the causes and consequences of the Battle of the Somme. For that challenge task, you should be writing at least 4 or 5 sentences. Pause the video now and take about 10 minutes for that. Okay, so mark up the score that you get for your keywords, making sure that you have clearly marked that on whatever it is that you are using to produce this work. So, there was a stalemate on the Western Front. We know this. The Germans built trenches so they didn't have to retreat further after the Battle of the Marne. The Battle of Verdun didn't end the stalemate, and the Battle of the Somme and the Battle of Passchendaele didn't end the stalemate. There was also a stalemate on the wider Eastern Front. Okay? Trenches developed along the Eastern Front. After a failed attack at Gallipoli, trenches were dug in Turkey. Neither side had a convincing superiority in the war at sea or the war in the air. So this information is what you're going to use to do the next task. So you'll probably scroll back in the PowerPoint or scroll back in this video and have a look at it. This is the task you're going to do. Using the information on the previous slide, create a timeline of the key battles. There's a super task with this that I'd also like most of us to have a go at, which is to match a road sign, so it's up to you what road signs you use, to each event on your timeline and explain your choice. Okay, so you're going to draw little road signs next to the events that you put on your timeline, and you're going to explain why you've chosen that road sign to go with that event. Pause the video now, and I would say give yourself a good 15 minutes to do this. Okay, so what happened on the Eastern Front? If you can, I'd like you to pause the video and write down 3 facts about the Eastern Front, but don't spend more than about 5 minutes on that. So, this is the information about what happened on the Eastern Front. At the start of the war, Russia mobilised or got ready for the war in 10 days and marched to attack Germany and Austria-Hungary. This meant Germany had to take 100,000 soldiers from the Western Front and defend its border with Russia. The Russian army was huge and was nicknamed the Steamroller. But it was poorly led and badly equipped and was quickly defeated at the Battle of Tannenberg and the Battle of Masurian Lakes. Austria-Hungary tried to invade Russia at the start of the war, but their soldiers ran away when they were faced with the huge Russian army. The Eastern Front was nearly 1,000 miles long and was less fortified, less well manned and less equipped than the Western Front. As a result, more land changed hands after an attack, but the stalemate wasn't broken. What you're going to do is make some notes on this information, trying to reduce it down so you're not having to write quite as much and putting it into your own words. Pause the video now and do that. So you're going to sketch or print off this map and annotate it. You could also annotate it on the PowerPoint, which I will have uploaded to ClassCharts as well. And you're going to annotate it with what was happening on the Eastern Front. So the information that was on that previous slide will help you to do that. Pause the video now. Give yourself a good 15 minutes on that. Okay, how useful is source B to a historian studying the Eastern Front? So when we're considering how useful sources are, we think about the nature. So what is the source? And what is it showing you? And then you also think about the origin. So where did it come from? Who produced it? And the purpose. Why were they producing it? What was their motivation for making this? So if you look at the description, it says British cartoon from September 1914. The front of the steamroller says Russia. The caption says Austria, I say you know you're exceeding the speed limit. So clearly this source is suggesting that Russian forces were like a steamroller and that the Austrian forces had no chance. When you're considering how useful this is though, you want to try and bring in some knowledge and also talk about where it comes from. So it's a British cartoon, which tells you something both about the origin and the purpose. In terms of what it is that they want to achieve from producing this. So what happened in Gallipoli? If you can, pause the video, write down 3 facts about Gallipoli. And then this is the information about Gallipoli. So you can pause the video and have a look through it and make some notes, and you're going to use it to do the next task. So using your notes, write a paragraph explaining what happened during the Gallipoli campaign, why it didn't end the stalemate, Why wasn't the Gallipoli campaign successful? So you can use this information to complete that task. I would give yourself at least 10 minutes on that, because you're going to write at least 1 paragraph, if not 2. Okay. Once you finish that, that's the end of the lesson. Fantastic. Thank you, guys.